If you're like me and you just started playing Watcher of Realms, you might be a little bit confused on what stats to go for on your gear, how you get the most damage out of your heroes. Maybe you've got into the Discord and everyone's got a different opinion and it just doesn't really make sense what the best thing to choose is, especially early game. Stats are limited, sets are limited, so I just want to break down for you as quick as I can exactly how damage works, and hopefully it can help you get some new high scores and progress a little bit further. So before I get into the actual topic of the video, which is attack speed versus crit early game and which one truly is king, as it was something that rotted my brain for the first month, you know, people saying one thing and one saying the other, especially with early game players, mid game, late game, it's very hard to actually conceptualize where this person is and what gear they can get and what stats they can get, and I just want to put an end to it. So for a lot of my newbie friends, we know what the fuck we're doing, right? So damage in Watcher of Realms is calculated very differently to a lot of other games. If you played Warframe, Ragnarok, World of Warcraft, usually what happens is you've got your attack, say 10,000, and then your skill will do like 700% crit damage, and by the time you've hit the enemy, they're gone, right? Unfortunately, the way Watcher of Realms does it is different. I believe it's so they can gate stages. It makes it a lot easier for them to limit progress and gear check you. So I think that's why they've done it this way. But essentially, attack in blue is your hero's attack stat. Red defense, that's the enemy's defense stat. These get subtracted from one another, giving us 7,000 overall base damage in game, and then the crit damage is added on top if you were to hit a crit, giving us 10,500. Now, if you're like me at the start, well, alright, I can only get 6,000 attack here, but I've got 300% crit damage, right? I'm gonna slam them. No, that's not the case, because again, the defense is negated first. So in this example, 6,000 attack, but we've gone for 200% crit damage. That should be 12k damage, right? No, it's not. It's not, for some reason, right? So instead we end up with 6k. A lot of people run into this issue. It's not such a big deal when you're late a game, and you've got stuff going on, and you've got plenty of attack, and you've got your 100% crit rate, and Of course, at that point, late game crit damage is great, right? And then crit damage certainly becomes king in the ways of multiplying something you can't physically improve, right? There's definitely a point where attack can't get better, and crit damage is going to be the way you multiply that even further. But early game, that is just not the case. I've tried all sorts. I've tried crit rate pieces, crit damage pieces, all sorts of ways to try and manipulate my damage and push myself further. And every single time, attack has come out on top. So yeah, attack is king. Always have more attack than the enemy's defense. If you're struggling on a level, it's because your attack's lower than the enemy's defense. It's as simple as that. Like I said, it's the way for them to just gate and gear check you and stop you from progressing too fast by just controlling your gameplay through that main stat. And you will find that if you start prioritizing your attack as much as you can, you may find that actually all of a sudden that enemy becomes very killable, and now you win. So before I get into the debate of what is better, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, I do have a video from a bucket on YouTube. Make sure to go check him out with the link in the description. It's a very simple video just explaining this attack, crit damage, which one's better scenario. He uses 3 different examples, and it just helps you visualize what I am talking about here.
I've split this up in 3 screens. You can see on the left is with 0 crit damage pieces. All 3 are attack bonus, and he has an attack bonus of 228% and 104% crit damage from subs, and his crit damage is 70k. Whereas with one crit damage one, again, very similar gear piece, pushing his attack up by around 40% and his crit damage down by around 40%, and he loses around 4k damage per crit.
Something else I also want to note before we get onto attack speed is stats over sets for early game players. There will be a point around Gear Raid stage 19 where you do want to start prioritizing sets as stats become a lot harder to push, and so those set bonuses such as Soulbound Arcana, which gives you damage stacks every time you ult, can be massive, can be game changing. But until you get to around stage 18, stage 19 in your Gear Raids, just worry about stat. Okay, so now we understand damage calculation. How do I gear my champions, my heroes? Simple. I'm not going to go into detail here. It's very simple. The top stat is your main stat. The bottoms are your sub stats. You want attack bonus percent, then attack speed, then crit rate, and then crit damage. That's for the left side gear, your weapon and your chest plate. And then on the right side, with your bangle ring and amulet, you want attack bonus with the percent as your main stat, and then attack speed as your first one, crit rate, crit damage, and then attack. Doesn't matter what order they're in, the point here is priority, which one is going to have the best impact for your DPS hero. I want to advise that for heroes like Adrian and Vlad, they are HP scalers. You would use HP percent in this instance. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way. Why attack speed over crit rate? Why does that matter? It is as simple as this. First, let's understand how does attack speed work as an interval. Take Wukong, 2.6 seconds attack interval at base, add 200 attack speed, we get 1.6 seconds, so a 1 second improvement, and then another 200 only grants us a 0.3 second improvement. It's really important to understand this, and the best part about this, it means as a new player, it's actually quite easy to get a good chunk of that attack interval down. We only need plus 200 attack speed to make that magic happen. So the way you're going to want to prioritize that is, okay, attack bonus percent, and it's got attack speed as a substat. Perfect. Use it, upgrade it, get it on. Then you might get a piece with attack bonus percent, attack speed, and then crit rate. Perfect. Even better. Use it. Okay, and follow that sort of law. Okay, so why attack speed over crit rate, right? It's very, very, very simple. I want a disclaimer that if we are talking about specific content, there's a group of enemies you need to nuke with one ult. Crit's going to be your fate, your man, the king of the hour, right? Of course, right? Okay. It's very important to understand that this is for a very simple, very simplified DPS situation. A fighter with an enemy in front of them and they're trying to kill him. And general DPS. If we're talking Maul throwing a shark and killing a group of enemies, attack speed is not going to help him, obviously. So this is just a general DPS rule. So a 4-minute 30-second boss fight. It's Wukong versus the Drake's Chasm boss. Build A, 100% crit rate. 2.6 second attack interval between basic attacks. He lets off 103 hits and scores 772,000 damage. Build B, 30% crit with a 1.3 second attack interval, so twice as fast, 207 hits and a 1.19 million damage total. Again, a disclaimer, of course you might not hit all of those crits. This is averaged for convenience. Please do not comment that shit, I beg. But again, a 54% damage increase. I don't need to explain it more than that. It's very simple. So to summarize, here's the goal. We want to get, say we've got 3,000 base attack, we want to get plus 9,000. The rule of thumb is to have at least 3 times the attack of your base, and this will be very easily achieved using the attack bonus percents on the gear. Then we want to aim for 200 attack speed, and then once we've done that, we can start thinking about trying to get as much crit rate as we can. Do not try getting both, okay? Getting both crit rate and crit damage is going to be impossible until you get later into the game and you get triples and quads, okay? It's going to be very difficult to manage both of them. At the end of the day, as long as you are attacking fast and you're guaranteeing a crit hit, and your attack is again 3 times higher than their defense sort of thing, 150% is still fantastic, okay? Don't be scared by guys being like, oh, no crit damage, why have you got no crit damage? Because I can't fucking afford it, mate, alright? Fucking Billy Big Bollocks over there with your fucking 700 geared 100 keys, piss off, right? I can't. Go fucking look in my bag, mate, and you will run in horror, okay? Fuck off. It's the pain of being a new player. We don't get that sort of luxury, okay? 150% is fine, okay? What matters is you're hitting that 150% every time. Once you got 200 attack speed, you got your 3 times attack flat, and you got 100% crit rate. Now you can start looking at, okay, can I find a piece of gear here that can put crit damage on this character without losing those other milestones, right? And that's exactly how you want to gear it, is as simple as that. So to summarize, as simple as I can put it, attack, you want 3 times the amount, so 3,000 base plus 9,000. Attack speed, we want to aim for 100 base plus 200 attack speed, totaling 300 to get the most out of that sort of diminishing return. Then crit rate, get as much as you can. You want to aim for sort of 60% minimum when you start pushing crit rate. 30% isn't really where you want to be, but again, beggars can't be choosers. And then once you've got crit rate to 100%, you can start worrying about, okay, how can I get some crit damage on the build? Alright, so for my own tests, I'm just going over what Wukong has on here. It all stays consistent just to show you guys that I've not messed with anything. I do want to note that I couldn't possibly actually get an attack speed but 0 crit rate build. However, I have done the maths, and even with 0% crit rate, I would still come out on top. A lot less, you know, a little bit more slim, 100k difference. But either way, it does still prove my point here. So yeah, 20,900 damage, 1.6 second interval, and 60% crit rate with normal crit damage for build A. And then build B, we've got 20,500 damage, again 400 difference. It shouldn't make that much of an impact on the results here, but this time a 2.6 second interval, so 1 second slower than build A, but the 100% guaranteed crit hits. For the test, I've used Easy Drake's Chasm with Vortex Healing and then Wukong on auto. I placed them both perfectly at the exact same time. As you can see, build A hits for 17.5 million damage. And then going on into build B, I can't doubt you can tell from the footage, but he hits a lot slower. It's very noticeable. And look at that, 1.4 million. Okay, 1.4 million damage. So that's a 3.5 million difference just from having a little less crit rate and a lot more attack speed. So yeah, just going over how I've geared him now myself. As you can see, I've followed my rule. I've got the 3 times attack with 18,000 over the 6,000 base. I've got the 250 attack speed, so I'm above my 200 minimum, and then I was able to go for 100% crit rate after. But even in this instance, if I had 60%, having that attack speed and the attack at 3 times would be far more important and far more beneficial. I hope this video has helped. It's been very confusing getting started in Watchers, but it's been an absolute blast as well. I will absolutely shout out the Discord community. They've been a big help in sort of pushing me through all the content and understanding how all of this stuff works. Make sure to go join and ask away. There's lots of amazing people in there willing to guide you. Just be aware that early game is not late game.